It is 5 p.m. A quorum is present, and the meeting has been duly called and posted in the time and manner required by law. I'd like to invite Bradley Atkins with the South Plains Fellowship of Christian Athletes to open the meeting with a prayer and lead the audience in pledges to the American and Texas flag.
And I just want to thank and honor you all for everything you do, and just on behalf of FCA, we're praying for you, and keep going. Man, Father, we love you and we thank you, and we just ask that your presence would just come into this room. Lord, we just pray over this board. Just pray that you would give each and every person in here divine wisdom and strategy, Lord, to lead and to lead well, Lord, and to make a difference right here in the city of Lubbock. And Father, we just thank you for your love, and we thank you for your Son who lived, who died, who rose again, and offers forgiveness of sin to each and every person that receives, Father. And we just pray that your kingdom would come, that your will would be done in LISD as it is in heaven. And Father, I just pray that you would pour out just the spirit of boldness, Lord, to stand for your word, for your love, for your truth, Lord, and to see lives changed right here in LISD. In Jesus' name, amen. And if you'll join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible. That's what we're talking about.
Good thing you had help.
Yeah.
Bradley, we appreciate it.
Thank you, Bradley.
Not every day you have an Olympian start you out. So, before we get started, I do want to thank Mrs. Chavez. She is here and recently had eye surgery, and so she is taking one for the team, and so that is why she has glasses on. And we wish for a very speedy recovery.
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
We will start with recognition. I'd like to invite Robin Fulbright, Executive Director of Teaching and Learning, to the podium.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Children, your grandchildren. So, and yes, I'm not
don't
gonna
fall.
fall in
Okay.
Very good. I'm so excited tonight to start off the board meeting with this wonderful, wonderful group of elementary students. In 2018, the Texas Elementary Principals and Supervisors Association, otherwise known as TEPSA, established the TEPSA Student Leadership Award to honor outstanding student leadership teams and their impact on our school communities in the state of Texas. It is with great pride that we announce that Lubbock ISD had not one, but two student leadership teams meet all of the standards to receive this prestigious award. At the recent TEPSA Summer Conference, Smith Elementary and Waters Elementary were recognized with a video presentation during the TEPSA Summer Conference keynote on Wednesday, June 11th, 2025. Here with me, I'm happy to introduce Smith. Is that where I'm starting? Smith Elementary? Yes, so help me introduce Noxlin Abriel. Jace Askew. Kinley Askew. Vivian Atwood. Leo Jimenez. Jenny Lacefield. Aubrey Mata. Asher Nixon. Merrick Poppins. Cian Prater. Elementary.
If you're taller, get in the back.
And here goes. Ready? 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, the mic.
And now we are going to introduce our second student leadership team. This team is proudly representing Waters Elementary School. So please help me congratulate Akande Alau. Emma Castro. Roman Cruz. Genovi Hayes.
Good job.
Kason O'Brien Cook. Emery Ramirez. Braxton Sneeka. Addison Vasquez. Michelangelo Anderson. Jadavian Birding. Hayden Contreras. Dax Hernandez. Ariana Lopez. Brinley Rojas. Lyndon Stroman. Jake Sauceda. And Khaleesi Wiggins. Again, help me congratulate the leadership team from Waters Elementary. Great job.
Waters team, if you'll come over here, we're gonna take a quick picture.
If you're taller, get in the back, okay? No, you're tall for this group. You're tall for this group.
Here, just sit there and we'll move back. Come on. Yeah, one more.
Up. Ready? 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, and they have grommets to mark.
Let me wait for a second. Sure. Rather than us talking while they're walking out.
Take one down. No, oh, with recognitions? I think with the recognitions, but not with the meeting.
Was there?
Did we miss somebody? Did we miss somebody?
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's all of the recognition.
Of the recognitions?
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for being here. Thoughtful.
Okay, I'll go ahead. We will open it up to trustee comments now.
Ivan's get the door shut.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna jump in and go first because I'll end up copying what everyone else says if I don't. Thank you, Bradley. I know I probably stepped out. Thanks for your prayer. That's always encouraging. Great way, I think, to start meetings and get us in the right frame of mind. Congratulations to our Smith and Waters kiddos. I think working on leadership is always a good thing, but certainly the earlier, the better. So commend them on their hard work, and we're working for you now, but we really will be working for all those kiddos someday in the not too distant future. And last, I just want to say a quick word about the staff, both at central office and across the community and the schools. You know, we've been back at school, I guess, a month now, and been one of the longest months I can think of. I know a lot's happened so far. There's a lot going on in the world right now to stress everyone out, in addition to the hard work that you all do. So whether you're an administrator, whether you're in the classroom, a term comes to mind, yeoman's work, and I've heard wiser people than me use that term, but looking it up, it describes hard, valuable, and successful work, often in support of a cause or team that's performed diligently and without complaint. I think that's a great way to describe what educators do a lot of the time. You know, sometimes that can be a thankless job. I know a lot of the time that can be a very stressful job. It also implies work that's essential, foundational, and requires significant personal effort. So on behalf of my children who are in this district and my family, thank you so much for all that you do, whether you're in this room or whether you're, you know, the 3,000 plus people across the district. We know the job's hard, and we're very, very grateful. So thanks.
Well, Sarah said, John, won't add a lot other than say, very well said and spoken. Our sentiment. I know we've gotten some correspondence. We want to appreciate the legislature and the raises that they provided to teachers of record. We wish that same amount had been applied to everybody who impacts teachers, impacts students. We know that goes for other people. I think Mr. Curry will speak to it more, but we appreciate everyone who's involved in our schools. It doesn't matter what your role, it's important that we have everybody working together, and we recognize that. Unfortunately, we didn't have the funding to be able to do equal raises for everyone, but we are certainly appreciative, and we hope we can address that next session with the legislature. So,
Congratulations to the kiddos this morning, the parents, the staff, especially for working so hard diligently. I just want to reiterate a little bit of what both of my colleagues have said in regards to the legislator. We literally done the best that we can. If we were able to do more, believe it, that would have been in the very forefront. That has always been me. I have always advocated for raises from the top all the way to the bottom, and everybody knows that. The emails and whatnot that I have received, I have returned the emails back and answered them, because that's what I do, and I think that's what we expect for us to go ahead and respond back to them, because they appreciate that, and try to explain to them like we did today at Nancy. So thank you for saying that. That was really important. And again, Ryan Curry will explain that a little more in depth at some point in time, but I want everybody to know that. And also, it is his Heritage Hispanic Month, so please don't forget that. I know that we don't get to do it a whole lot in our district now because of the DEI and things that are coming down the chain, but you know what? We know our culture, we know our heritage. Don't forget it. It's important, and God bless you guys, and thanks for all you guys being here today. Thank you.
It was good to hear you all speak as you spoke. I was at the retired teachers meeting today, and they wanted to know, how's it going? How are you doing? What are you all doing? And I was able to share some things with them. We're here for the students, we're here for the teachers, we're here for the communities, we're here for you. And we will continue doing what we do, and it's tough. We're determined to do, aren't we, what we need to do. Thank you.
I would just add again, I say this every time we recognize the students, just the beaming bright smiles on their faces and the pride that they have, and they're working hard, but behind them are parents that are working hard and educators and staff that are working hard, and the same can be said as we've gone over the past couple of weeks, and we're celebrating some of these accountability ratings at some schools that have been so high performing. I mean, that doesn't happen from just one administrator. It doesn't happen from just a set of teachers. It happens from everyone working together. And I'll yield to President Curry to share some thoughts on this. But what I would add is I've spoken not only over email but personally with several concerned employees about the compensation disparity, and I would share with all of you the same thing that I shared with them, is that I get it, I understand, and you have the right, and I understand why, and if I were in that position, I think I would be equally as challenged and questioning. And so with that, just know that whatever percent raise or whatever raise was given does not reflect in any way the worth that Lubbock ISD or the Board of Trustees places upon your position. It was the ability of the directed funding that the state provided versus what we had available to give. And so with that, I would just say thank you all for what you do.
Yeah, I would just thank you guys for your comments, and it's great to start a meeting out with young ones, because hopefully that reminds us all why we're here and what we're charged to do. I think to echo on John's words, it seems like there's already, just in a matter of 4 weeks, there already has been a lot that has transpired on campuses and across the district, across the community, and so want to commend the folks that are in this building, the leaders that are on campuses, the teachers that are in the classroom. I know things get tough at times, and so I commend you for a job well done with a lot that's already taken place in a short time. As some of my colleagues have said, we've received several communications with regard to the budget that we passed, and thus the pay scales, the pay raises that we approved. I guess it was 4 weeks ago. And so, as Mr. Ratliff said, I empathize with the frustration, and I don't pretend to have answers that would satisfy everyone or that would make everybody feel warm and fuzzy inside, because we all have our own situations. Everybody has their own budget, and so I understand that. However, I will say, and I don't want to blame the state, because it seems like public ed, we do that a lot, and public ed was given a lot of money. Not all of it was new money this session, but it was a lot of money, and it was monumental comparatively to what we've received the last 2 sessions, and so very thankful for that. But to put into context, just for those who are feeling frustrated, not sure of their worth, whether it be in our district and other places, as part of HB2, there was $8.5 million in new funds given. Again, some of that was to buy down taxes, a lot of different things, but ultimately the bulk of that was for the teacher retention allotment, not teacher incentive allotment. I know not everybody loves hearing that word, but teacher retention allotment. And so to put that in context of what that means for LISD, and none of these are final numbers, because we won't actually get paid until February or March based on numbers that flush out from this first semester. And so it's a lot of a guessing game. I mean, there's some strategy involved, but at the end of the day, we're still throwing darts to some extent. And so we will get up to $6.2 million as part of HB2 to pay teacher of records, specifically code 087. We don't decide who's code 087. That is done through TA and how they establish who is teacher of record. For that $6.2 million, that roughly equates to 1,450 teachers of record in our district. So that's a lot of money for 1,400 people. Comparatively, in that same bucket of funds, we got $850,000 to give raises to the other 1,675 employees. Whether you're at the top, the bottom, whatever you have. If you're not a teacher of record, you fall into that 1,675. And I don't say that to justify it. I don't say that to hope that you give us a pat on the back. None of that. I just say that to hope that you understand the constraints in which we work with. We're in a profession where while we have control over accepting new kids, the reality is our revenue comes from who sits in our seats, and some of that's controllable, a lot of that's uncontrollable, and so. Obviously, we're in a decreasing enrollment school district and have been for a long time, and so every year is a challenge. For those that are frustrated, my consolation to you and teacher orgs were in our meetings throughout the last 4 or 5 months, and so I hope that Clinton and his team could could back this up, but we spent a lot of time trying to figure out how do we make sure that everybody receives something that's meaningful. Doesn't mean that it's all the same across the board, doesn't mean that it makes everybody happy, but that it's meaningful. And so to conclude, I would just tell you this group decided to approve a much larger deficit than we otherwise would have to ensure that everyone got something. Again, we fully understand and realize that it may not be the something that you desired or that makes you feel appreciated. But I do want you to know that there was a lot of thought that went into that and a lot of work behind the scenes. Some not great moments. I mean, we had some respectful disagreement over, you know, what stays, what goes, what have you. And so we continue to be in a tough time. Very appreciative for the new money, but just realize this again, I think this directly points to one of our workshop items today with respect to optimization, to make sure that we are paying for expenses in a manner that allows us to ensure that we're able to pay our people, as Ms. Sharp said and Ms. Chavez said, long beyond this year and this session. So, you know, I just want to thank my colleagues. No, it's not easy, but also I want to thank the people that have expressed their opinion, because that is what we're here for, and it allows us to understand what you're feeling and where you're coming from. Dr. Rollo?
Yes, I want to take a moment and thank you as a board for diligently considering what we could do over the last several months. So thank you. Thank you for your time, your energy. Thank you for responding to the emails and questions. I just appreciate each and every one of you tremendously. And thank you for your time last week in learning together. I think it was a great opportunity for us to learn more about what we're facing right now as a public school district. Yeah.
Next order of business is citizen comments. Before we begin, I would like to review the provisions in board policy governing the procedures for public participation as reflected in BED local. The audience shall not enter into discussion or debate on the matters being considered by the board. I will remind members of the board that the citizen comment section of our board meeting is for the purpose of listening to patrons, where we are not allowed to comment or debate on issues that are not posted. No presentation shall exceed 3 minutes, and a timer will go off at the completion of 3 minutes. I would ask that you conclude your comments within the time limit allowed. As I call your name, if you would come up to the podium and state your name for the record. I'd like to invite James Harris to the podium.
Hello to the board and to the audience. My name is James Harris from Lubbock. Time is brief, so if you wish, you could give me a 30-second extension so I could give very pertinent information from Senator Perry's office regarding the trustworthiness or lack thereof of the current crop of LCAD trustees. I have transmitted to the ISD evidence of criminality and extreme sloppiness at our tax collector, LCAD, Lubbock Central Appraisal District. I first shared extensive details of these LCAD crimes and LCAD gross mismanagement with Lubbock ISD on July 17th. I uncovered shockingly inaccurate record keeping and absence of quality assessments within LCAD going back to at least 2018. I possess great evidence, some of which has already been shared with the ISD, but there's a lot more. The business process that LCAD fails are not optional. They are specified in Texas law using shall language. That means there's no choice. They have, by law, to do things a certain way. And they've broken many of these laws. LCAD views this to be so serious to their salaries and their perks that they're actively and aggressively covering it up. Approximately 7 months thus far. 7 months covering it up. Shenanigans. More than $600 million per year runs through LCAD. Your tax money. LCAD have shown that they should not be trusted to do bookkeeping for a popsicle stand, much less funnel hundreds of millions of dollars to taxing units per year. Lubbock ISD is a taxing unit, possibly the largest. Taxing units have absolute control over appraisal districts via majority control of their boards. I know this is inconvenient for you, But acting now gives you a halo during the December and January big check writing season, where people are already in a foul mood, and when they find out that they're sending money to a crime ring, it makes it even more foul. Why is this important? Home ownership has deep psychological impacts, similar to what happens when a person becomes a parent. Appraisal districts have perhaps more leverage over a person's home than any other part of government. Homeowner fear of tax liens and foreclosures makes most people feel powerless, even in the face of district incompetence, criminality, etc. Most roll over even when they're right. I bring you an exceptionally well-documented example of taxpayer abuse that emanates from criminality within the ISD's tax collector. Regarding Senator Perry's office, I visited them some 8 months ago when I first found out that the place is a mess. I was greeted by absolute anger and rage, but not at me, at them. And I was told, do not interact with the board members that are not elected. They're worthless. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. I invite Mary Catherine Arias to the podium.
Hello, my name is Mary Catherine Arias. I am a librarian at Bean Elementary, in one of the trees, and I'm also a mom of two. My babies also are in LISD. The specific reason we chose LISD as parents is because we employ librarians, and it's because I feel that the profession of a librarian is vital in a school, and what's coming down the pipe, I know that you are aware of it. But the fact is that for me personally, you closed my school last year at Hodges because you wanted to preserve the staff. And when I went to my new school, then I found out that my clerk was cut. And then now I'm finding out that I'm getting paid less than teachers with doing two people's jobs. I'm also in charge of Chromebooks, and so that's about 3 people's jobs. And I calculated it, and I have about an hour less of a conference than any other teacher on my campus because I have to serve those classes, those teaching times when I'm active. And this workload is, I think that that's where we can get creative decision making, and because I know that you guys don't have money, and I know that you did the best that you could, and I really do appreciate it. But I think that we would be open to maybe having some administrative days where we don't have to teach, and we can work on our collection development and like the things that we have to get done that is not getting done because we're teaching. I also think that I am in charge of badges in my school. I don't think that is necessarily a job that has to be done by me. I don't think with Chromebooks, I'm teaching the exact same amount of time that the other teachers are teaching, and so it's running into the problem where they're interrupting my teaching or it's not getting done. And so I think that that is a solution to be given to another personnel that's not actively teaching all day long. Because when I'm with the kids and with the class interruptions with 22 kindergartners, it is a mess. It is, and now I'm doing it without a clerk, and so the classroom management is exceedingly difficult. And so what I'm asking you guys is just to consider creative solutions for us, and I invite you guys to come to our co-op meeting just to show us support and appreciation for what we do. This isn't at all accounting for all the new stuff that we are going to have to do with the new state laws. But I hope that you show up for us the ways that we show up for our kids and our staff every day. But we would really love to talk to you guys. Anyways, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Harris. I'd like to invite Ramona Duffy to the podium. Miss Duffy. Okay. We'll move on. I'll ask one last time before we. I'd like to invite Mario Zapata to the podium.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Mario Zapata. I'm a paraprofessional with the district. I started in 2005. So, I'm coming on behalf of for the district. I advocate fiercely for them. I'm here today to let you know, I'm sure many of you do, the miscommunication has caused a lot of ill feelings in the hearts of Paris. It just was not handled right. I'm telling you right now, we're thankful for any kind of increase that we could have gotten. But the communication that was put out and communications that were put out afterwards mention a 14%. Okay? I understand how this breaks down now because it had to be explained to me. However, the emails that were sent out explain a 14% increase to paraprofessionals, and that is how paraprofessionals took that. That's how I took it. They took that to their families, they budgeted that, they figured it out, they planned for that, and then this was on August 28th. September 15th is when we were able to go in and see what that raise was, and nobody's was at 14%, obviously. Okay? So again, I get contacted by many paras because they know that I will advocate for them, and they want to know what's going on. So I'm trying to figure this out myself. The reply back that we get from HR, from emailing, is that paras were not receiving a 14% increase. We were receiving a 3% increase on the midpoint of the newly increased range. The range was increased by 14%. I understand that now, but it was convoluted and confusing on everything that was sent out explaining the raises. And it wasn't just the paras that believed this. Everybody that I spoke to, from assistant superintendents to coordinators to principals to paras to people outside of the district, were congratulating us on finally getting something that significant. That would have been a significant pay raise. So many. I don't expect anything to be really corrected on that. I know that the board and everybody has done what they could. It's just that it feels like a gut punch, and I don't believe that it was done maliciously on purpose at all. As you've explained, before we all got started here, did everything that you could, and we appreciate that. But it came across as a 14% increase when it was not. Again, like I said, I don't expect it to be fixed. At the very least, though, I mean, I feel like an apology is owed to every paraprofessional. They are hurting. I speak for all of them. We are hurting just from it. It feels disrespectful. And historically, paraprofessionals, we don't make a livable wage. None of us. There's not a single para that makes enough to only have this job. We have to rely on a spouse or second or third jobs. So basically what I'm asking is reach out to your paras. An apology would go a long way from people in your position.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I'd like to invite Brandy Williams to the podium. Brandy Williams. I'd like to invite Kaylee Lopez to the podium.
Haley Lopez, and I'm the librarian at Smith Elementary. I'm speaking to you today because for the past 6 years of my career, I was considered and coded as a teacher at my school. With the new House Bill 2 that was passed, I am no longer considered a teacher, and I'm here to plead my case as to why elementary librarians or teachers should be coded as such. My main duty is teaching library lessons. I'm in charge of planning and implementing lessons for 7 grade levels each week. I teach the exact same number of students in the same amount of time as art and music teachers. Librarians have their own standards through the American Association of School Librarians, but we are also vital in helping to teach ELA texts. I attend vertical planning meetings where I talk with teachers about what standards students are not understanding, what standards students are testing low on, and I implement those lessons into my library time. I know that teachers have to follow a scripted curriculum, which is both good and bad. We do have pluses to it, but some cons could be some differentiation aspects. And I think that the library is a great place to work with teachers. And I think that at my school, at least, I really do that. My lessons are more important than the Chromebooks to me. My lessons are more important than all the other jobs that I have going on. Along with teaching the lessons, like Mary Catherine said, 99% of us are Chromebook admins. A lot of us do badges. A lot of us are the website people. And there's just not enough time in the day. These are a few of the reasons why we should be coded as 087 in PEAMS. I know that is probably not your job or not your decision, but it is defined as a professional employee who is required to hold a teaching certificate in order to provide the same amount of some type of instruction to students. Librarians in Lubbock ISD are required to have at least 2 years classroom experience as well as a master's degree. We should be on the teacher's pay scale. When I reached out to my TSTA rep, he pointed out that because we are not a teacher of record, we do not qualify. I would like to point out that in my research, I could be wrong, but the TRA statute, Texas Education Code, TEC, section 48.158, defines a classroom teacher for TLA allotment purposes as a person who is employed by a school system who, not less than an average of 4 hours each day, teaches in an academic instructional setting. It is stated that it does not have to be a teacher of record, which is what I and other librarians have been told. If Lubbock ISD is requiring for teachers to be tied to students and teams, I don't see why librarians can't give a citizenship grade like art, music, or PE do. I also think that we teach technology. We have to do digital citizenship lessons. We have to deal with Chromebooks every day. We could take a technology grade. With the pay scale arranged the way it is, I, with a master's degree and 10 years of experience, make less than a teacher with no extra degree and only half my level experience. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Did Miss Duffy show up? Ramona Duffy? Brandy Williams? Okay. We will move on to item 5, financials. Approval of budget summary report, budget amendments, and budget transfers, statement of taxes collected, and the investment report for the month of July 2025. Dr. Wilkins.
Good evening, President Curry, Board of Trustees, Dr. Rollo. Have in front of you a new look of the financials, trying to give you a little bit of new look and provide a little bit more information so you can have a more comprehensive look at the financials for the district in the future. So I've added a few things to it. First page we'll go to is our actual budget, and I'll remind you, this does not have the new budget amendment yet. We're still waiting to get all that taken care of, so this is under the old law that we presented, which still shows that deficit at 8.9, so just want to make sure you understand that. But what I would draw your attention is the far right over there, that 7%. We should be about 8% expended at this time. We're at 7%, so that is really good to see that at this time, that we're under budget on that. The next page you have is your food service fund in front of you. Your food service fund, we have not collected all of our revenue yet, which that's shown in the $75,000 there at the bottom. Then you move to the next page. You have your debt service fund. So this is our INS fund of what we're going to pay our debt service out of. And so it's holding strong, and we are going to use some of that fund balance just a little bit this year. Next page you have is your capital expenditure project. This one, we do not have all the funds in that at this time. We are waiting on either an executive director or projects to start, and then we'll start allocating budget, but we do not have all that in there at this time. We also did not get our money until August 6th for the new bond, so that's not reflected in this since this is July financials. So moving on, you have your Head Start, and this one is about 50% expended, 41 to be exact. Want to draw your attention to, the grant year ends end of February on this grant, so it's a little bit different than most. It ends mid-year, where most are hit our fiscal year. Okay, so moving on to our budget amendments. A couple that I draw your attention to up top is the $34,000 for LISD TV. That was for truck repairs to get our mobile truck back running like it should. They generate revenue. We take that revenue and recognize it, so that's actually stuff that comes out of their pot of money. Down at the bottom, E-rate money was used for $370,000 for some cybersecurity upgrades that we needed. The next page, we have a couple of budget transfers we did. The big one is going to be the $1 million for food service, for some painting, some upgrades, and that's at some middle schools. So I want to draw your attention to that. Moving on, and we have our tax collections now. You got two different looks here. This first look is this year. Moving into this new year, we've only collected 0.51%, which that's to be noted. We haven't collected a lot of taxes yet. The next page over, when you look at that next page, that is last year's tax collection. So you're looking at at this time of year, we're looking at two different looks. So you can see that we've collected 98.1% of last year's taxes, which is really nice to see. So when we move to this next page that I provided for you, a little bit more information, it shows a breakdown monthly dating all the way back to 2020, 2021. And if you compare our 24 to 24-25, you can see across that we're starting to climb back up to where we used to be, which is really nice to see on tax collections. Moving to the next page, we have our investment report. Mr. Barnes is doing a great job with our investments. We all know we used to hit about 5%, 5.5%. We're not seeing those days anymore. So we're holding steady about 4.5, which is really nice with the market, the way things are going. So, and our Plains Capital is treating us really good with some overnight funds at about 4.5%. So that's really nice also. So, and then the last two pages, just for your information, I'm going to include enrollment information in the future, every meeting, so that you have that in front of you, because enrollment does means money. So I think that's vital for y'all to look at. You can see at this time we are down 900 kids. I will tell you that we budgeted for a decrease of about 250. We were starting to show, according to trends, a plateau, but we have 900 that we're down. So, and then I have a historical chart dating all the way back to 2017 for you to look at. And I wanted to have attendance numbers for you. I did not get those because I couldn't get the report to do what I exactly wanted it to do. So next board meeting, I will have attendance projections in there for you also each month. So any questions on the financials?
I want to thank Dr. Wilkins for the new look and a refresh of our financial report. Thank you for doing that.
Good job.
Any questions, comments? No? Do I have a motion to approve the July 2025 financial reports as presented?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. Moving on to item 6, consent agenda. Consider board approval of the minutes for the workshop meeting held August 14th, 2025, and the regular meeting held August 28th, 2025. Do we have any corrections to the minutes from the August meetings of the board as presented and distributed? Hearing none, the minutes are approved and as printed. Before we continue, do we have any members of the public who have signed in to address the board regarding any of the posted board agenda items?
I do not believe so.
No? Okay. Moving on to item 7, academic action items. Approval of memorandum of understanding with the Children's Home of Lubbock. Dr. Rollo?
Yes, so this is giving consent for the Children's Home of Lubbock to work and collaborate with Lubbock ISD. They help provide some services on our campuses for our students who are part of their program. So I want to thank, and this is the first time I've used this in a public meeting, but I want to thank Dr. Kami Finger for her work on this. She defended her dissertation just this week, so we're very proud of her. She or I would be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Any questions? No? Do I have a motion to approve the MOU with Children's Home of Lubbock?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. Moving on, approval of memorandum of understanding with Texas Care, McHer Care. Dr. Rollo?
Yeah, so this is a new partnership, and it's really to help us address the need to be able to provide services for our students who are needing some additional mental health services. STAAR Care is really operating at full capacity right now, and so this is an additional service provider. Of course, all of this would be done with parental consent, but this is a partnership with Texas Care, McHer Care. And again, thank you, Dr. Finger, for your work on this partnership.
Quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
Sessions, how many sessions and are they?
To ask Dr. Finger to come up to answer that.
Dr. Kami Finger.
Joking that I sound like a DC character or a James Bond character. So with McHer Services, they are a private organization that is oftentimes referred to by parents who access STAAR Care, but who they are reaching capacity services. And so as a private provider, they engage the parent in conversation about using their medical insurance or Medicaid to provide mental health services from either a qualified mental health professional or a qualified counselor, such as an LPC. So with parent consent, what they're asking is to access our campus during the school day to provide those services to the student. So each individual student is treated differently, and the service varies, as does the frequency and duration of the sessions that they provide. However, they have to work with campus administration to ensure that the time that the students pulled are at times that do not interrupt core instruction, special education services, etc. And so that's what this MOU does. It shores up all of those pieces. We ensure the parent has consented, that the provider has run through our background check system, that they are in fact certified and have the appropriate credentials, and that overall it's benefiting the student completely.
Thank you so much for explaining.
Thank you. Any other questions? No? Do I have a motion to approve the MOU with Texas Care, McHer Care?
That's a move.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. Next up, approval to participate in the Texas Student Re-Engagement Program with Graduation Alliance. Dr. Rollo?
Yeah, so this is a new partnership that we are excited to bring for your consideration and approval today, possible approval today. Graduation Alliance is a Texas education agency approved optional flexible school day program through district partnerships. And so this is a TEA approved organization. What this group does is they go out and find our kids that are not in school, ages 14 to 26, and then they help them finish school and get an actual high school diploma and recover the credits that they're missing. And so the way that that is done is it generates funding through TEA, through ADA while they're enrolled with them, and then the largest portion of that funding will go directly to Graduation Alliance, but they are finding kids that we're not getting funding for now and helping kids finish their high school diploma, which changes those students' lives. And so we're grateful for this partnership. They will make at least 10 attempts to find the kids, and they even go to other cities and other states and in some instances other countries to find these kids and help them finish school. So We're excited to try it. We've talked to other districts that have been a part of this partnership, and it has been very successful to recover kids. And I want to thank Dr. Cecily Alexander for her work on this, as well as everybody on our team. With it being new, we really did vet this heavily and talked to lots of folks, but we're excited to help more people get their high school diplomas.
With that diploma, LISD, there were our students, so would they get the diploma from the school where they would originally be going to, just like they do at Dupree Academy?
They'll be enrolled at Dupree,
Okay,
yes,
great.
in the same way.
That's awesome. That's encouraging. Thank you. Thank you guys for doing that.
And I think during committee, you all talked about the importance of a diploma as opposed to a GED.
Yes.
Can you explain that again? That was
Yeah, the beauty of this is that when a student has a high school diploma and you think about that next opportunity in the job market or after high school opportunities, a diploma takes you much further. If you want to go into management in a corporation, many times a high school diploma is a barrier to get into that process. So we know that kids have greater opportunities when they have a diploma than a GED. Many times when students leave or drop out, they go to quick programs that offer support, and what they end up giving them are just a GED and not actually a full diploma. And so we want to make sure that we honor that for kids and help them to get that full diploma.
kudos. This is really good.
And I don't have the numbers in front of me right now, but the difference in what a person can make over their lifetime in income from a complete dropout compared to a GED, compared to a high school diploma, compared to a college degree, is substantially larger.
These students and these families, because I guarantee you, they're under the impression that the
Yeah, they are not the same thing.
no, they are definitely not.
Thank you.
So thank you for saying that. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Any other questions, comments? Do I have a motion to approve participation in the Texas Student Re-Engagement Program with Graduation Alliance?
So moved.
A Motion is second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. Next up, approval of resolution for extracurricular status of 4-H organization and adjunct faculty designation. Dr. Rollo?
Yes, I believe this is the second year, potentially the third, that we have brought this to you. It is a new requirement for the 4-H organization, and we have many students in our district who participate in 4-H as well as FFA, but 4-H is a separate entity. And so this is allowing them to be declared an extracurricular status, and then also to approve their adjunct faculty designations. And you can see the list of who those folks are in your packet.
Any questions, comments? Do I have a motion to approve the resolution for extracurricular status of the 4-H organization and the request for adjunct faculty designation?
So moved.
A motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. Approval of waiver for modified schedules on state assessment testing days. Dr. Rollo?
Yes, so this is a waiver from the state that requires your approval. The state sets testing dates, but with a waiver, it gives us the flexibility to adjust the state testing dates within a window for each test. And so we have taken advantage of that for the last, you have to approve this every 3 years, and so we are up. And so this is giving us approval to adjust testing dates around our calendar for the next 3 school years. And thank you to Miranda Rubalcalba for setting this up and making that happen for us.
Do I have a motion to approve the waiver for modified schedules on state assessment testing days for the 3-year period presented?
So moved.
Motion is second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. Moving on to item 8, administrative action items. Approval of a resolution nominating Lubbock Central Appraisal District Board of Directors. Dr. Rollo?
Yes, so this is something that is required for us to nominate 2 people who are up, their terms are up, but they're eligible for another term. These folks have served for several terms, but I think that this will be their 4th of potentially 5. And we have to do this by October 1st. And so what we're bringing to you is Brady Goen from Shallow Water. He's with Texas Boys Ranch, and he's a farmer. And then Greg Jones of Lubbock and Prosperity Bank. This will be for our shares of the nomination, and then once the nominations happen, then the vote will happen at a later time. Happy to answer any questions.
Questions, comments? I'll just say again, I think we talked about this last year. I think not only this board, but the other voting entities probably need to work towards forming some type of committee to identify people who want to serve in this role, specifically with some of the folks that are coming up and the amount of time they've served, just to identify those folks that might be willing to take the seat later. I know they're in a thankless job too, and one that not many are happy about. So appreciate their past service and their desire to continue. Floor is open for nominations. But do I have a motion to approve the nomination of Brady Goen and Greg Jones as candidates for the 2 open positions on the Board of Directors for the Lubbock Central Appraisal District?
So moved.
A motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. Moving on to approval to create a bond oversight committee. Dr. Rollo.
Yes, new legislation, and I actually think this is great legislation, requires that if we are going to appoint a committee to study anything at the district level or provide any recommendations to you with district-wide initiatives, that the board must approve the adoption of that committee. And so we brought to you last month the dual language committee, and I'm excited that work started last night, and many thanks to Misty and her work around that. And they had a very successful first meeting. You'll have something in your superintendent update tomorrow about their first meeting. But this one is asking you to allow the district to form a bond oversight committee. This is a practice that the district has had in place with each of our bonds, and so this one will be a bond oversight committee that will be formed for our 2025 bond. This will be a group of outside citizens who will look at our bond expenditures, look at bond project updates, and hold us accountable to do what we said we were going to do. So we would like for the board to provide us names, and some of you already have given us names, and then we also have some other folks who said they want to serve on this committee as well. And then this bond oversight committee can provide updates to the board as to do they believe we're on track with what we're doing. They can provide a report to you at a meeting. They will meet quarterly throughout the progress of the bond. Happy to answer any questions, and many thanks to Rick for providing the bond oversight update or the action item that you're taking, and to you guys as well. And also I want to thank our community once again for their support of this bond. If they had not supported it, we wouldn't need to have a bond oversight committee, so we're grateful, very grateful to them.
I do think the success of this last bond is partly due to the fact that since at least 2010, in that bond, we have always had a bond oversight committee. We've been very transparent, put information on the website showing that we've spent the money as we had told the public we would. And so that credibility helped, I think, in the overwhelming approval. So I appreciate the work you all have done to do that over the years. And boards before you.
We'll continue with the transparency and get it posted.
Dr. Rollo, my only I guess wish or ask would be that we go ahead and set all the dates now, so that way we try to have, 1, accountability for the meetings, but 2, try to have maximum attendance for whoever's on those.
Be very important, so thank you.
Do I have a motion to approve the creation of a bond oversight committee?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. Moving on to item 9, procurement and contracts, approval of district purchases. Rick?
Yes, sir. Good evening. I've been practicing all day to say not good morning, but good evening.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I made it. I made it past my first task. Just 2 items for your consideration this evening. The first is a regular item that you've seen before. This is the private school curriculum. This is a requirement that we provide resources for private nonprofit schools. And so this is the arrangement with Region 17. Again, this is a requirement for us with the federal funds. And then the second, excited to bring to you the purchase of 3 police units. This will be 3 police units, as our chief has been actively and successfully recruiting new officers to the team, and so we're pleased to be able to. Our cadence is that as he finds candidates and gets them on board, that while they're going through their pre-service training, we're able to get the vehicle here, get it outfitted, and so these vehicles are literally waiting for tonight. We will send the information tomorrow, and they will be here in 3 weeks, is what we're told. So they're on the lot, ready to get put on a trailer and brought here. So
It's a good thing that Chief Tiarina is a police officer magnet. People are wanting to come work with his team, so
100%.
we're grateful to him.
What type of vehicles are these?
These are going to be Dodge Durangos, and so for what we've experienced, we've purchased Dodge Chargers, and what Chief Tiarina is telling me is it's probably a lot more information, but the electrical system doesn't support the equipment that the police units have to have, and so the Durangos are much more. This will be the second round. We've purchased one other one before, and we're pleased with how it's performing, and so that's why we're going back. And for the cost of these, we looked at some actually this last week while we were in Austin, and they're upwards of 65 to, depending if you get them outfitted, all the way up to $85,000 for a Tahoe. This is for the money. I think we're doing well, and the officers are appreciative of the space.
I hate to say it, but $42,000 for a police cruiser these days is a really good deal.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you and I had that conversation. I just wanted to recognize you and Chief for the cost savings measures in a time when we need to cut all the costs we can. So thank you.
Thank you.
Rick, any questions for Mr. Rodriguez? No? Okay. Do I have a collective motion to approve the district purchases as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. Dr. Rillo, do we have need for executive closed session now, or would you like to do that?
Would you rather do it at the end?
Sure.
Okay, I think
Okay.
we could go ahead with that.
We will move on to our workshop then, and start with 2025 STAAR scores. I'd like to invite Miranda Rubicala, Executive Director of Assessment and Accountability, to the podium. How are you?
Great. How are y'all doing?
Fantastic.
For my laptop. This second.
Yeah, no, sorry.
Okay, so good evening, President Curry, Dr. Rello, Board of Trustees. Today we're going to be reviewing 2025 accountability ratings. First, we're going to take a quick look at the accountability system. The A through F accountability system is made up of 4 domains. We have domain 1, which for elementary and middle school is 100% STAAR. High schools have CCMR and graduation rates added in there as well. Domain 2 is academic growth, which is comparing STAAR performance this year from last year's. Okay, so that's the growth. 2B is taking the same STAAR scores from domain 1, but it is scaled based on the economically disadvantaged percentages at each. And then domain 3 takes all of that and it's breaking it down by various demographics. Okay, so and then it looks at academic achievement, so that's STAAR at the meets level. It looks at the growth. It looks at the EL proficiency for our English learners, and then STAAR performance as well. Okay, so the best of those first 3, domain 1, 2A or 2B makes up 70% of our overall score, and domain 3 makes up 30% of the overall score. So previously, you should have received a booklet that had our ratings. Yes, it looked like that. The first document in there has the 2-year comparisons for all of our campuses. Okay, so today, to save some time, we're only going to be going over the overall ratings. Okay, so moving on, we are starting with elementary and middle school. So we have here our top 5 campuses, and we are talking about the overall rating. So for elementary and middle school, that would be Roberts, 93, Miller, 92, Honey, 91, Wester, 91, and Whiteside. We also, it's important to look at growth, so progress from the previous year. For that overall rating, we had Centennial increasing 22 percentage points, Harwell 18 percentage points, Water 17%, Bean 12 points, and Rush 11 points. So again, these are just the top 5 with the overall ratings. That's elementary and middle school there. Moving on to high school, the top 3 campuses we have for overall scores was Talkington at 98, Lubbock High with 91, Monterey at 88. And for growth, we had Dupree Academy growing 13 percentage points, and Estacado and Lubbock High increasing 7 points from their overall rating. So great successes for our campuses. For the district is rated proportionally. So each campus's domain scores are weighted based on their enrollment numbers, and together they make up the district's domain scores. So for our district scores, domain 1 was a C with 76. Domain 2A, the academic growth, was a C at 71, and then domain 2B was an 81. So that 81 made up 70% of our score because it's the highest of those 3. And then domain 3 was a C with 78. So when we put that together, our overall rating was a B at 80 for our district. So great job with our campuses. So we're moving on to
take a minute and just celebrate that? We were a C last year.
So moving on to even more exciting news, we have some campus recognition here. So today we have our A-rated campuses here, our principals, to give a brief statement on what contributed to their success. So we're going to give them a moment to speak. We have a banner, and then at the end we'll all come together and take a picture to celebrate their success. We're starting with Honey.
Starting with Honey. Board and Dr. Rollo, thank you so much. I have just come into Honey Elementary, but I've inherited a wonderful staff. And I have never seen a group of people work so hard for a common goal. And I think that's their strength. And my job is just to continue forging ahead with that common goal and pushing everyone to just keep growing a little bit more every year so that we keep growing those kids. Thank y'all very much.
Next we have Miller.
And aren't these banners wonderful? They can take them back to their campus and hang them up.
Thank you so much for having us. I'm Kelly Archer. I'm the principal at Miller Elementary. And I am so proud of the work that our staff and students and community have put forth over the last few years. Historically, Miller has been an A because of our domain 1 score. We've had high achievement scores, but we've really focused on growth because we want to grow every single kid. And we have focused on that, and so this year I am so proud that our domain, for the first time, we are a growth school. Our achievement scores stayed high, but our growth score moved up to a 93 from a middle to high B. So we are so proud of that, and I attribute that to focusing on student growth and teacher growth, and then knowing who our kids are and providing that targeted systematic intervention, and then just having the best, most amazing, dedicated staff and all hands on deck to make sure that our kids are successful. So, thank you.
Good evening. Hello, everyone. Well, I do believe that student outcomes are a direct result of the teacher expectations, right? And so we thank our teachers. They absolutely come in every single day and accomplish great things with our students. And so the shout out goes to our teachers at Ramirez Elementary, but I'm a believer that it takes a village. We have some outstanding parents at our campus and who are constantly supporting our teachers. And then not only is it the teachers, the parents, but then the students walk in every single day ready to do some great learning. And so I attribute that, the success of the school, to our village and the fact that we have parents, we have the students, and we have the teachers all working together on that common goal of just achieving great things.
Hello, I'm Anessa Brasino, the principal at Roberts Elementary, and thank you for having us tonight. When people ask me how we do it at Roberts, I always talk about the great staff that we have. We have high retention rate, and so our systems and our strategies and our high expectations just flow from one year to the next. And I feel very blessed to lead that staff that I have. But it's also about the kids. They know that they're coming to school to learn and grow, and we look at those levels of performance levels and we push them to the next level, and that's what we're about at Roberts. We are blessed to serve kids in small group, whether they're approaching or they're masters, 3 days a week in small groups. So we're just about growing kids and loving them, and we appreciate your support. So
thank you.
Good evening, trustees. It's an honor to stand here today and represent Wester Elementary. When Commissioner Murath came a couple of weeks ago, he said this, and I'm going to quote because he did it the best. What happened at the school with a group of educators is not magic. It is, in fact, good hard work with people who know the craft of teaching, who understand their subject matter, and who give kids their very best every single day, every classroom, all year long. That is the Wester way. So at Wester, the Wester way means teamwork, building lifelong learners, using data, maintaining an internal locus of control, treating one another like family, and finding joy in celebrations and milestones. That culture is what has driven our success. It was only possible because of bold action and support from our district and leadership. 6 years ago, when Wester was a failing campus, you as a board had the courage to take bold action and have Wester participate in the new School Design Fellowship with TEA. With the support of Dr. Kathy Rollo and Ken Carceres, and many countless leaders here at Central Office. We also partnered with School Empowerment Network. That gave us the foundation and the means to plan and transform Wester into the A-rated campus that we are today. On behalf of our staff and students, thank you for believing in us and for making the Wester Way possible. The Wester Way proves that when a community believes, kids achieve.
I'm the principal at Whiteside Elementary. Thank you so much for recognizing us. Today, Whiteside is celebrating not just an A rating this year, but we are actually celebrating 5 years in a row of being an A-rated campus. And I'm going to do the research, but I don't think there's many schools out there, and there's certainly not many in our region that can say that. We're unbelievably proud of the work that we do every single day. I'm often asked, what makes Whiteside the amazing school that it is? 100% our amazing teachers. They do the hard work every day. When we talk about STAAR, we're often looking, we're only looking at 3rd through 5th grade data, but we know that those foundational skills that start in pre-K and kinder are the foundation of our success. So we know that we're celebrating all of our teachers today and the hard work that they put into their students, into growing each kid and loving every kid. And we're excited to be a part of that. And we're going for number 6. Thank you for celebrating us today.
Okay, good evening. And thank you so much for this invitation. We are extremely proud to represent the district in accomplishing our North Star goal and being an A-rated campus. So Ms. Hirsch, she had mentioned a couple of things already in regard to School Empowerment Network, bold action that was taken by you all. And so I just want to express our gratitude for taking that bold action as Commander William C. McCool Academy was opened nearly 6 years ago. But really the shout out goes to answering this question. What is the most significant impact on student achievement? We know it's our teachers. And so they're going in on a daily basis and they've got the boots on the ground. And we know also that wouldn't be achievable if we didn't have really a supportive school community. So that goes not only with our parents, our guardians, but also our paraprofessionals, folks like Ken, the folks that literally have my back. And so really just want to tell you all thank you for the hard work that you do, but we're also understanding that we wouldn't be able to do what we do without a strong school community. Our teachers, they go above and beyond, y'all. There are things at McCool Academy we're asking them to do. One of them asked, like, you want us to present to other teachers? They're doing book studies. We're in depth in coaching conversations, and they're stretching themselves just like we're asking our astronauts to do. And so we're just, again, appreciative for the recognition for what you do, but bottom line, we're very appreciative for our teachers. Thank you.
This next one is our first comprehensive high school to achieve an A rating.
Yes, I have notes. Good evening, President Curry, board members, Dr. Rollo, members of the cabinet. Probably going to need you to go ahead and throw 3 minutes up on that time. It took me a minute to get here. And it wasn't just me. We too have been a high achievement school. And so 7 percentage points worth of growth. And you saw from Miranda's presentation, there are so many things that go into our rating at the high school. Just uber focused on each of those things in order to get here. But I would be remiss if I didn't take an opportunity to have some shout outs here to a lot of folks. Like I said, it's taken a minute. So I thank you for this opportunity to celebrate an incredible accomplishment. Our school has earned an A rating from the Texas Education Agency. This honor is not just a reflection of test success or statistics, but a true testament of hard work and dedication, the heart of our entire school community. Thus, I would like to take a few moments to address some of these members of this community. To our students, you're the reason. Your commitment to learning, your resilience, and your drive for excellence are what make achievements like this possible. To our teachers and staff, thank you for the countless hours you pour into the lesson plans, the encouragement, the guidance. You go above and beyond every single day, and this rating recognizes your tireless dedication. To the Lubbock High School administration and campus leadership team, your focused efforts to ensure high quality and targeted learning opportunities for every student made this achievement possible. From analyzing data to supporting teachers, from setting high expectations to keeping our mission at the center of all decisions, you have guided our campus with clarity, compassion, and determination. This A rating is a reflection of your commitment to excellence and belief in what our students can and will achieve. To our district personnel, your leadership, support, and vision provide the foundation for success, ensuring that our school has the resources and the direction to thrive. To our school board, thank you for your steadfast belief in our students and our staff, and for championing the policies and the support that allow excellence to flourish here at our campus. This A rating belongs to each and every one of you. It proves that when we work together, students, staff, families, and community, we can achieve greatness. But most importantly, this is not the finish line. It is a milestone that challenges us to keep raising the bar, to keep striving for excellence, and to continue making this school a place where students can dream big and achieve even more. We will continue striving to be the school of WHAM, where Westerners achieve more. Thank you all for making this remarkable achievement possible. I appreciate it.
Blue ribbon's next. It wishes. Achievable.
Good evening. Thank you so much for having us here this evening and acknowledging us. And it's so hard to follow all of the wonderful principals that stood up here before me. Our motto at Talkington is reject average and embrace excellence. And the reason why we are an A-rated campus is a direct result of our teachers and their relentless pursuit in making sure that students master. And not only that, the intervention, the tutorials, the reteaching, and holding every single student to the high expectations. And also to our students who show up and work hard every day, working at lunch, working after school, and doing whatever it is that's necessary. Our teachers and students and our parents and our community, and definitely the support of the board, Dr. Rollo. I worked on our school report card for a week before I got that from Miranda, and I just have to thank her as well, because I was calling her several times and we were talking about numerator, denominator, because I was determined to do the report myself first before the score was released. And I'm glad that I did that, because I'm starting off the year knowing the data very intimately, but it's a direct result of all of the people working together to make sure that it happens. So I'm just very honored every single day to witness such dedication and such hard work from our teachers and our students. And thank you again for having us here.
Can we give a shout out to Vision this
Just
Any comments before we move on to Ken?
We're extremely proud of this record number of A campuses. They're definitely helping us toward our North Star goal of at least 80% of our students in an A or B campus by the end of this school year. So we also are grateful for our B campuses and all of our campuses that made progress. And we are also grateful for our campuses that are struggling but are working hard to grow. So I do want to recognize that as well. So thank you.
I want to point out, and I'm sure we could say this about a lot of campuses and a lot of schools, but just three that came to mind while Miranda, you were going over your presentation. Shout out to Ms. Thompson at Dupree Academy. What she did this past year is super cool, and I think the coolest thing is that she is standing in the gap for people that may have other circumstances going on, and so I love the fact that those young men and women can move on with their life and in a meaningful way. I know he's no longer here, probably doesn't listen. If he does, he doesn't have much of a life, but Dr. Gillespie, the strides he made at Centennial is astronomical. And then last, Ms. Brasino, are you still here? Man, I tell you what, and again, I know I'm sliding people in the room, but every year Roberts just kind of knocks it out of the park. And you've got some challenges that other schools have, but you continue to just home run after home run. And so whatever you have, if you could bottle it up, we could use it. And then as Dr. Rollo said, I think to the campuses, not calling them by name, but the campuses that are not shining stars this year, please know that we want to help. We want you to ask for help, and the board cares about our schools that are struggling just as much as we care about those that aren't.
Can I make say something super quick and get you to clarify? When we talk about the second domain and growth, that is not averaging, but that's taking every child where they are, and whether they are struggling learners or they're a high flyer and showing additional growth. I think that's so important. I remember when I first got on this board and Trustee Bridges said Lubbock ISD meets children where they are and takes them to the next level. So I'm going to be a crybaby like you, Doug Young, but that is such a gift. So for everybody who made growth, I want to understand that and appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
One thing
Miranda, thank you.
One thing Miranda didn't cover that I would like to also point out is the distinctions. And the way distinctions are figured is they take schools from across the state of Texas that look most like that school demographically. So same levels of poverty, all of the subgroups are similar, and then they rank them and how they perform. And so you can see those distinctions. Those are huge, because that means they're in the top quarter of schools that look just like them.
Dr. Rollo, thank you so very much for sharing that, because I didn't know that. I was invited to some of the schools to actually walk through, look through. Thank you for sharing that.
Certainly, and your book shows you how many distinctions each campus earned.
Thanks, Miranda. Ken Castras, Chief Innovation Officer. I think you have our next and last presentation.
While he's getting set up, I want to take a moment and thank Mr. Caceres for his work on preparing for what he's going to share with you today, the optimization framework work that will involve the community in the near future. He's gone above and beyond and has done an outstanding job. So thank you, Ken. I just wanted to publicly recognize you for your work on this.
Thank you, Dr. Rollo. Thank you, Board of Trustees and Mr. Board President. Today I'm coming to you to talk more about our community optimization framework. And so to begin our journey here, we need to take us back to what our mission and focus is in our district. And of course, our mission is to develop and inspire every child every day. And taking our board goals and our mission, in the work that we've done, we've already made some very tough decisions in our district. We've made tough decisions about school consolidations. We received strong community support through our passage of the bond this past year. And we also made tough choices in increasing teacher pay. But we also know that in the future, we have to continue to make tough choices moving forward. So our objective is to better understand the purpose and goals of our decision-making framework for potential future school consolidations. So back in April, I presented a presentation to the board in regards to what could that look like in our district as we move forward. One of the things that the board charged me with, and the district as well, is what can we do to kind of forecast what that could be and what framework could we utilize so that it's very transparent and it's very clear to our community. So we talked about having a decision-making framework based on qualitative and quantitative data and looking at information there, and also providing a rubric that we could make a decision in the future based on a lot of other factors that could go into what we look like in the future. So some of those primary metrics was looking at overall enrollment, number determined by input, and facility utilization rates, looking at maybe under 70% facility utilization for a building, and per pupil spending, making sure that looking at campuses that were going above the district average. So we talked about some proposed contextual considerations, things that we talked about back in April, where we may look at program offerings. Does the school have a unique program that is serving students and is not available anywhere else? Historical context, looking at family demand. Are we having students transfer here because they have a unique program, not only within our district, but outside of our district boundaries? Looking at student needs. What does a school offer as far as those unique programs and special populations that we serve? Then making sure we have available and high quality aligned options for our families. We also talked about some implementation considerations, making sure we had transparency, making sure we had data summaries on all of our campus that could be shared. I shared an example with you back in April of what San Antonio ISD does and how they share that information with their community. naming the number of schools or looking at the budget deficits that must be addressed by closures ahead of a cycle. Having board publicly adopt criteria prior or to limit potential shifts, having equitable access and opportunity, looking at transfer priorities, and then making sure that whatever decision we make in the future, when we look at a rubric or a framework, it is community-centered. So that leads us to our district optimization. So the district optimization is a process designed to ensure we are offering all students and staff a high-quality experience through the deployment of resources in alignment with district, community, and priorities. So looking at the optimization framework and what would these levers be, it could be a number of different factors. It could take many different forms. It's including but not limited to looking at future school consolidations or looking at school redesigns in the future, looking at possibly boundary changes in our declining enrollment district, looking at program expansions, or even looking at new programming that could benefit our students and attract students from across the area as well. So I wanted to provide you a brief timeline overview of what this will entail and engage us in the next few months. First, in this past month, we've been project planning and data gathering. We'll look at stakeholder engagement to inform the framework. In November, I'll present the QSA with more detailed information about where we're at with our student population, our programs, and our accountability. In December, having the board adopt a decision-making framework. And then in the winter and spring of 2026, having stakeholder engagement to build awareness and knowledge moving forward. And then by the fall of 2026, having the potential to utilize our optimization framework for the first time. So part of that is engaging our families and our community. So in September, we've been working on a survey that we'll be actually pushing out live next week to our families and to our community to gather input from our community about access to our academic programs and what do they feel our district needs moving forward. In October, we'll have town halls where in each board district focused on understanding the need for optimization, unpacking what a great school means, previewing 3 pillars of framework, having some contextual factors that should be considered, and listening to their feedback as well, and then providing a survey access if needed. One of the things we want to do is the survey is going to open next week, but will be going on for the month of October. So we have community members who may attend some of these meetings in the community. So we'll have a QR code where they can access the survey as well. In November, we'll have key focus groups with key stakeholders, looking at proposed thresholds with aligned district level data, looking at feedback, really consider those contextual frameworks that may be considered, and then also looking at strategies to improve student experience across all campuses. And then also have the opportunity for public comment prior to the board voting for a type of framework in December of 2025. How do we engage our staff? It's very similar to how we engage our community. Again, pushing out that survey so that we have information from our teachers as well about what does it look like and what type of programming do they may want to see on campuses moving forward. Again, having them invited to the town hall so they have that understanding of those contextual factors and looking at also adding to the discussion that will be had at these community meetings. Also in November, again, having those focus groups, and then back in December, going to December, looking at that public comment and the board vote at that time period. So as we go through the survey impact is for us to have an understanding of the current impressions of Lubbock ISD and to inform our broader district improvement efforts, have an understanding of what factors are most important to our families in selecting a school to inform district optimization framework, identifying which elements of school size are most important to families so that we have a better idea and have a better informed messaging moving forward about district optimization. So our audience that we're looking at in the survey that we'll be pushing out next week is our current families, our current students, the students beginning in 3rd grade and on forward, current staff, and a broader community as well. And so our ask of principals moving forward is just make sure we share the survey with families and staff in regular communication. We will also make sure that we have posters and in our building so that parents can, when they're picking up their kids, they can see the survey and take the survey there while they're waiting. We will also have QR codes at different school events, and then just continue to engage the district on the process throughout the work that we do. And so that's just a framework of the work that we'll be doing here the next couple of months. So I'll take any questions that you may have at this time.
Mrs. Castro Christ's team is working on a flyer for each of the town halls individually, and then also one that will have all of the dates listed, because anybody in the community can go to any one that works with their schedule. And I know that said October, but we're actually, I think our first one is in September.
September 30th. Yes.
September 30th, so we do have one in September. So we'll be getting those out very quickly so that we can start advertising those.
Do we have school messaging going out other than the flyer, like the text and?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, we're
kind
working on that, yes, sir.
All of the, I mean, I get 6 or 7 for just about everything that happens at Irons, right? So,
Right.
I mean, this is, if
Yes.
we can get this out, I think this is imperative that we involve the community in all of our districts in this. And I believe it was Trustee Chavez that brought this back from San Antonio when they did this year-long deep dive into the data and partnering with the community. I think it's a wonderful, the only way we can move forward.
And I want to thank you guys. You charged us, particularly you, President Curry, to develop a framework like this with community feedback. So thank you.
I love the work in the committee that was on this. You guys did a great job. I just think it's vital for us to be able to share the information as soon as possible with the professionals that are in the building, with the parents who are deciding where to send their kids, because it's, as I've said many times, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, there will be more school buildings that need to be closed because of the same conversations that we had earlier this morning, bless you, with respect, or this afternoon, excuse me, to ensure that we can continue to pay the professionals what they deserve, and we're not even close to that. We've got to be able to use the funds that we are given more intelligently, and unfortunately that comes with utilization at a higher rate than what we're doing currently. And so I think it's awesome that the community will be part of it. I encourage the staff to be part of it, share your opinion, because I mean there will be a finalized product, and you know that I think that'll help boards to come for a long time, just with being very clear and transparent in decision making.
And that has all been in the forefront this whole past year. We've been talking about that every time we're at Student Success, and you guys have done a phenomenal job. So has our media folks. And I think, is this Amanda's first meeting with us?
It is. This is her second week on the job,
Awesome.
so it absolutely is.
Congratulations for being here. Appreciate you. I'm gonna give you a round of applause. Thank you.
She's hit the ground running and has done a fantastic job.
I do think we talked a lot during the bond that we were not going to surprise families, and so this is a great step towards not surprising families, and I love the transparency, so thank you. There's also, I went to TASB, a session about, they called it school retirement, and they were talking about a process, but they didn't have this, I think, John, you were in the same one, they didn't have that and other factors, and so I love the way you all have really spent a lot of time looking at this and looked at the other factors, so good job.
Okay, we're going to take a short break so we can set the room up for a level 3 hearing. For the people that are in the audience, this is a closed session that we'll be coming back to. So you're welcome to wait around, but we will basically gavel out when we come back. Let's come back at 6:50.
We adjusted the heat a little bit because it was cooking kind of fast. And this cheese is not going to melt as quick as that American cheese. So you might consider moving it to the cooler spot, and it's going to take just a little bit more time. You got the right idea. Butter that side now. Perfect. Thanks, sir.